Action. Hello, I'm Sally Chigozie, owner of the brand Unshakable. Unshakable is a state of mind. Take your state of mind with you everywhere you go. Be unshakable, be in truth with yourself, love yourself. So that's my introduction to the new episode of the podcast Chronicles of Unshakable Truths. I can't tell you if it's episode 2 or 5 or 7 or 100 because it's totally unscripted. So I have with me today Amaka and Amaka. So Amaka O and Amaka J. We'll come to introductions in a minute, but I'll just give you a little bit of a history of how today has happened, basically. So Amaka and I have kind of today been going through a sort of comfort food craving phase. So we've decided to come to Twirling Spoon, which is on Fallenden Way. It's Enk's Cafe, actually, Enk's Creperie. Enk, do you mind come to say hello quickly? So Enk's busy, but yeah, she'll just pop in and say hi in a minute. So we thought we'd give her a little visit. Here she comes. Hang on, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, my cafe.
Yes.
Swirling spoon.
Yes, exactly. So actually, maybe this is a good time for introductions. What do you guys think? Yeah, shall we?
Yeah.
So should we do Enk? Because I know Enk needs to get back behind the counter.
So,
In a minute.
hey,
Yes.
should I say my full name?
You can say anything you like. Yeah.
I'm Enk, and I'm the owner of a cafe called Twirling Spoon in Hampstead Garden suburbs.
Okay.
And I'm Amaka. I'm owner of something. Do I have to say my own? No, my name is just Amaka Jackson.
Yes.
Basically.
Okay. What are you
And what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, you can say what you do.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about something else.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, I'm a solicitor by trade,
Okay.
but I'm also something else by night.
We're not. It's not that kind of episode.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Right.
At all.
So my name is Amaka Wona. By profession, I'm a financial advisor, and by night, I sleeper.
I didn't ask any of you anything about nights, but anyway, fine. This is another story for another. Sorry, I'm here with this. I hope we're going to be able to get through this, like a certain degree of seriousness, because when you chuck these two together, it's chaos, absolute chaos. Anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about.
chaos. All right, fine. So Amaka, and I have come in to visit Enk because Enk's just come back from Berlin last week, where sadly she had to say goodbye to her sister. So it's been quite sad, actually. And unfortunately, Amaka as well just lost her mum. And she just got back from Nigeria, where she had to bury her. How long ago now, Amaka J, since you suffered the loss of your...
So I think, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. So
a little over 18 months, yeah.
So I think by default, or we've accidentally stumbled upon this episode by virtue of the fact that we're all together here today. I'll start by saying this. Grief. I read somewhere, and I fully subscribe to this thought, that grief is a price you pay for love. People handle grief in different ways. And a couple of years ago now, or just under a couple of years ago, and Amaka J told me what had happened. Most devastating way. I'm not going to go into detail. Well, I'll let her if she wants to. I instinctively felt the need to be there for her. And I did this as well to Enk. So basically, when I heard from both of them about their sad news, I immediately dropped everything and I went. So Enk, I went literally on the same day. And Amaka J, I think it was the next day or a couple of days after. So my first question is this. So some people like the like isolation, so to grieve in isolation, so they don't want anyone there. They want to be alone with their thoughts, cold dark room or whatnot. Other people like presence of people as a kind of distraction, maybe, I think, or something like that. So I think because Ink has at least I think needs to leave us in a minute for a little bit. Let me start with Ink. So do you like alone or do you like surrounded or a combination of both? And I was actually going to ask you how you felt about me coming over, but maybe when you just lost weight, or whether we should add this.
I was pretty overwhelmed.
Yes,
but it turned out okay in the end, and I think I was glad that you came.
Okay.
So I think it depends on my mood, maybe. I would say.
Okay.
It's hard. Grief for me is so complex, honestly.
Very. Yes.
The days where I'm like, I don't know. There's also the guilt as well, because ever since I started the cafe, it's almost like I'm pushing it to the background.
So you don't have to deal with it.
Yes, but then it creeps up like on you like a thief in the night. You understand? Like when you least expect it. It just creeps up on you. So it's just very difficult to describe grief, to be honest. I don't know.
So have you enjoyed those? Not enjoy. Sorry, enjoy is the wrong word. Have you appreciated the isolation more than being crowded, or have you needed a bit of both?
I never want crowded. Okay, but I've appreciated the.
But you've had moments where it's been a little bit of a crowd, or it's never been too much.
I don't think it's ever been too much. Maybe now because I have the cafe. If I've suddenly got like people, like I think I have PTSD from my phone. Honestly, it's like I want to chop my phone away, because it keeps beeping, and then I don't know what's going on, but it's almost like everything is just coming out now since I buried my sister.
Okay,
it's almost like I'm now dealing with the grief now properly.
Okay, so some sort of like delayed reaction.
Well, I would say it's a delayed reaction.
Okay,
So I think the company thing is it's not necessarily whether you like it or you don't like it. For me personally, I'm the sort of person who would want to be alone. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing. Because and the whole phone's constantly going and people wanting to show up. I didn't want company. I never really want company. And I think for me, I just like to deal with stuff on my own. But I did have one friend who did, I think it was probably about a few days past. And she said, I'm coming. And I could not say no because I was like, no, don't come. But she wasn't going to hear no. And she showed up and, she came over with a bottle of wine. And it did, for that few hours that she was there, it did take
good, right?
It did some good. So I don't know if it's a case of whether it's a good or a bad thing. I think, there is a point where you need to be alone. And there's a point where you do need to have people around. And similar to what you're saying, like with the cafe, so my mum died and we went straight into funeral planning mode. And I feel like we've used all of that to distract ourselves from not actually feeling the grief.
Yeah.
So this is my first weekend since my mom died that I actually have nothing to do. And I was dreading it, but now I'm doing something.
Yeah. But do you feel like you can grieve properly now? But that's how I feel.
I feel I'd like to. I feel like if I don't grieve properly, I'm going to have a delayed reaction to it. Like there's going to be a point where if you keep pushing it back, it's going to overwhelm you one day. And at a point where you least expect it. But what I do want to ask you ladies in terms of grief is, like for me, I sometimes feel guilty about the feelings of grief that I do have, which is, you're not the first person who's lost someone. You're not, for goodness sakes, you had your mum for 18 years and, all of that. And I feel like I'm not handling it. I'm not handling.
How old was your mum?
My mum was 81.
Okay, so
Yeah.
in a sense, maybe even and it's sad, but also like a celebration.
Oh no, it's a celebration,
because
but
that was a life.
it's still your mom, right?
It's
Still
still
your mom,
still your mom,
yeah.
yeah.
but that's the thing. So that's how I think I should think about it. But that's not how I see it.
Yes.
I
It's-
can't
what
see
do you
how
mean?
you see.
How?
That's not that could never be
How do you mean?
She can't
Sorry,
see. It's her
explain.
mother.
Oh yes, of course.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter when your mother
You mean the
goes.
celebration?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter when your mother goes.
Logic.
It's never going to be a celebration as such. It's your mum.
So logically, yeah, she had a long life, as some people would say. But for me, it was still too soon.
Too soon. It will always be too soon, I think.
But for you, it's different because it's your sister. I have
Quite young.
five
Yeah,
sisters.
she was 54.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's young. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very young.
and that's a different bond. So in your grief, sorry, I've sort of hijacked your interview.
No, but I wanted to say to that point, actually, I remember the next day, the day after my mother died, my friend's mother called me from Nigeria. And the first thing she said to me was, darling, listen, my mother died at 103 and I was grief stricken. So there is no age that your mother goes. It would always be devastating because that's your person.
Of course.
And I went, since then, I mean, I was very, very lucky. So I had very, very good advice, from the start, but it just really made me feel, okay, so this is what we all, no matter what age or how, it doesn't really matter. This is what we all go through. Okay, I'll find a way to deal with it. So I don't think it matters.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Amaka, you didn't get to answer the question.
What was the question?
Isolation or crowd?
I said, you know me.
Need I ask?
Need you ask?
So
Isolation. I just
when I
like to be
turned
on
up
my
at
own.
your house. Well, I wasn't uninvited. I did tell you I was coming.
Do you want to know my initial reaction?
Should we take a
Exactly.
Okay, fine. And then, did you not realise I said, okay, yeah, we'll go for a walk? Because I'm like, yeah, let's go for a walk. And then you go.
Talk about it.
Yeah, that is me. But I appreciated it, darling. Thank you.
Kisses.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay, so second question is, so it's still fairly new. I mean, Amaka, this happened to you nearly 2 years ago. As far as I'm concerned, it probably will still feel sometimes like it was yesterday. But as the days go by, do the feelings evolve into something less painful, or does the pain remain the same and then your adjustment to it just like goes through different
It's a difficult one because I think it all depends on the strength of the relationship you had with the person. So that's number one. Number two, I don't think there's I think it's just a roller coaster. There are days when it's absolutely fine. And, so talking about, things overwhelming you, it comes when you least expect it.
Exactly.
In different places, places where you have no business being emotional, it will just come.
Do you mind if we do examples? Or is
Examples
that too much?
no, little things. So I'll tell you a very good example, very embarrassing. I went to Egypt. Do you remember, like a few months after my mum died, and it was somebody's birthday party, and I didn't really know them, but I really appreciated, being invited and being out. And we went to the actual party itself. I was doing very well. Day 1, day 2, day 3, and then day 4, somebody saw a photo of my mum on my, DP on WhatsApp, and she goes, "Oh my God!" She walked up to me. She went, "Oh my God, Amaka, you've been talking about your mum. What? You look exactly like your mother. This, that, and the other. This is somebody's party. Everyone's jubilating." I just went.
We should be laughing. No, but it's true though.
Like proper ugly cry. And then everyone started to feel bad for me.
Oh my God.
Everyone starts feeling bad for me, and I felt really bad because I was wrecking their party. Like, everyone is happy. I'm like, what can I do? You can't control it. It's very difficult. You really can't control it. It's little things. You did it to me the other day. I was with the children in Devon, minding my business, going through the motions with those 4 terrorists. She just sent me somebody's poem, and it was basically that you become your mother.
Yeah.
So your mother's not ever really gone.
Yeah.
And, I was talking to the kids saying, don't do that next time.
And they came running out. Like, oh, what is
That probably at the same time that I told you my mum had died.
It was literally, no, your mum, it was the next day. And I was driving, darling. I almost had an accident with 4 people's children in my car. I just started screaming, no. And then obviously I realised the children were looking at me and I just had to adjust myself again. But it's just, you can't control it.
Like, we broke out 2 days in a row.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry.
But it's really funny though, because I was sorry, I was telling somebody off and the next thing, my mother.
That's the way it happens.
Very.
And have you had any similar?
Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. A song may come on,
Mm.
and then it reminds me of Rebel.
I think you told me about one actually, where we were sitting at a party
Yes,
in Hendon,
exactly.
remember?
And then it reminded, and I was when I
Rebel.
didn't burst out crying. Like,
No, you didn't. You said to me that you even though you were present, you were not present.
Yes.
Everyone was like singing. It was your sister
Yeah.
loved Michael Jackson.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it would be a song, or there's times when I actually forget that she's passed away.
Yeah.
And then maybe a joke will come on my WhatsApp, and I'll be like, "Oh, let me share it with Rebel." And then I'm like, "Oh my God, she's no longer there." And of course, that brings me to tears because I'm like, "Wow, she's really gone." Or I could be here in the cafe, and something remind me of her, or there's something I want to tell her, and
Is it usually when you're alone? Do you think?
it's always when I'm alone. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
always. No, that's the only time I have for myself.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like I have not had the time to grieve properly.
Mm.
But since I've come back,
It's time to grieve.
yes, I feel like it's time.
I think it's a natural order though, because you kind of like wait, you're almost waiting to exhale.
Yes,
Until
yeah,
you bury them
exactly.
or dispose of the body, and then finally it happens in your life,
Mm.
you let go.
Did you feel that relief? I think
Relief.
you and Enk are like really fresh on this one.
Well, I honestly know. Because I guess my mom's funeral was a bit dramatic. Because we
Go
went
back to Nigeria.
to Nigeria and it was all very chaotic and drama and village people. So for me, nothing about my mom's funeral was about us or my mom. So that we went into autopilot and let's just get this done. And then I came back and I went to Greece, and then, like I said, my first weekend back on my own. The thing is, I'm not a big crier. Don't like to cry in front of people. I hate it. So I normally would try and hold my tears in. But then when I'm alone, if I start crying, I tell myself off. So I feel,
Really?
yeah, no, so
I think you have to give yourself grace.
Yeah.
I know, but that's the thing. So I know I need to do it.
Mhm.
I just haven't done it.
It will come. You're just at the beginning, basically.
And it's when I go to bed, she's the last thought I have, and then I'm like, push it to the back. So I haven't really.
I do that as well.
Really?
I force her, when I think of how the pain she went through, the suffering. When I feel like
Because she
I'm
was
about
ill.
yeah,
for
it's
a
like I
while.
force myself not to think about it. I'm like, no,
What, the fact that she was ill? The pain?
the
Or
pain
just
that she went. Well, the whole suffering throughout her illness.
Mm.
It was really bad. Do you understand? And I when I feel it coming, it's like I just stop I'm like, no, don't think about it, Egg.
Okay,
So I force myself not to think about that bit because I know if I do, I'll crash.
You wouldn't
I-
crash.
Well, it's crashing
I
so
feel
bad.
like
though.
Crash. I think everyone worries about crashing. You wouldn't really crash. I think you will definitely go down, but you're only going down so you can come back up. Somebody explained that to me when the whole thing started, and I didn't really understand what she was saying, and now I understand what she means. You have to sit in it. You have to sit in, the sadness of it, like
I
the
agree.
misery of it,
Yeah.
I think you need
anger,
to.
all of it. You have to sit in it.
Yeah, there's a saying that the only way out is through.
It's through. You
So
have to
you
go
can't,
through it.
yeah. So apparently you have to, like, regardless of how painful
I
it
know,
is.
like my mom, she's not cried. And I keep telling her, you have to cry. You have to cry. Do you
But is she
understand?
showing signs of grieving?
I can feel it. And it's so thick. Do you understand? When you feel that, I don't know what to call it. Is it, what would you call it? What you feel around that person? The
Essence
energy.
or-
Of
It's
it.
vibe.
The vibe.
Yeah, yeah. What do you mean? How?
Like you can really feel her
Her
heart
pain.
is so heavy
Yeah.
that you can feel it in the room.
No, you can.
She's
It's like when I came to your house and I
snappy.
said the energy in your house
No.
is giggly.
Giggly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sally's house. gives you a giggly head.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah. So you feel it, and then I'm like, Mama, I want her to cry, right?
Mm.
But she's never been the crying type. Sorry.
Forgive me, mother.
Thanks, Mom. If you're listening, we love you. Hank didn't mean that.
She meant me. No, but
Yeah.
I can feel it, and it's almost like I need her to cry so that I don't feel the heaviness as well.
So she's transferring
But
it to
then
you.
I just come to realize that people grieve differently.
Yeah.
So who am I to tell her that you must cry?
My brother
Yeah.
had the same
Do you
thing.
understand?
I think
So I
my
have to
brother
leave her to
literally
go
just
through it.
crashed this year.
Yeah.
I don't think,
Really?
yeah.
So,
I think he didn't.
So do you think
he
you were
didn't attempt-
carrying him?
Oh yeah, he just,
From-
like, we know what boys are like. It was like, oh, this, that, and the other. And this year, I think it just finally hit him this year, and he's had like God knows how many months of just really being down about it all. But yeah, everyone's different.
Okay.
so what I found really interesting, because again, a family of 7 children, we had this thing where if someone starts crying, everybody starts crying, and then one person will be like, "Oh, stop crying." And I'm thinking, no, don't tell someone
Yeah,
to stop crying,
let them cry.
because you don't know if they've been holding in their tears. If you don't have to cry because everybody else is crying.
Yeah, but also you don't have to not cry.
Some people feel that they have to cry because
That's what we call eye service, right?
I don't know if it's eye service. It's just you're sharing in the emotion, but I'm not one for sharing in the emotion. So,
But then if you cry, I will cry.
That's the thing.
Regardless of what you're crying
I will
about.
cry,
Even if you're crying about something
same thing.
yes.
really ridiculous, I will cry.
Well,
Actually, that's true.
not necessarily.
You'll cry.
Not necessarily.
I will. If I walk in at anxiety, you know what? This door is broken, and I'm like, the door. Like, but then what she does, she's crying, and I'm like, oh my God, the door is broken. And then we all fall into the hole together.
Why are you crying? Why asking you? Why are you crying? What's this?
Some different people.
But I find that quite interesting in my family, where some people be like, "Oh, stop crying because you're gonna make me cry." Like, you don't have to cry because I'm crying or because someone else is crying, and just let people cry.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm not a big crier, and I always envy it when people,
So
You're jealous of their emotion. But she's jealous of
That's
the
not true.
You're jealous of the
That is not true. I did cry quite a bit in the village.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was anger or there was a lot of crying. But it's just tears of annoyance.
Those village people will get
Yeah. That was. I just found that interesting. What I did want to ask, another thing that I sort of dealt with was how do I explain it? So, like, my mum was diagnosed with cancer, and in the space of 2 weeks, she died. So we're at the point where we're thinking, "Oh, did we do something wrong taking her to the hospital? Did we make her die quicker? Or did the NHS?
Did you not do enough? Could you have done more?
Yeah, so there was so many things going on. Because when we took her in, she just wanted to go home, and I was like, okay, so us taking her.
What do you mean she just wanted to go home? She just wanted to fly back to Nigeria?
No, she just wanted to leave the hospital and go to my sister's.
And stay there with no treatment?
Yeah.
What, did she get treated in the hospital though?
But she died.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah.
Too soon.
No, God. No, what?
She's really mad. She doesn't upset anything.
Sorry.
I tell you.
Too soon.
Oh, okay. No. I mean, of course, she's not here. But what I mean is,
yes, of course, we were treating her, Sally.
Okay.
But I was trying to make a serious point.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So at the point where we're thinking, oh my God, did we speed up? Because initially they said 6 to 12 months. And it was a case of, for another 2 weeks, she died. So it's like, okay, did they kill her? Okay. We, go into our head. At one point, one of my sisters was saying, oh, we need to get an autopsy. So there's that whole feeling, oh, did we do something wrong? Is it our fault? Just
the guilt.
It sounds a little bit like lack of closure, or is that something completely different?
I don't think
it's not lack of closure. I think it's an initial sort of a reaction to death, particularly It's like it's well researched, well documented. It's a natural reaction as guilt, and your guilt is very different to your sister's guilt. It's different to your brother's guilt.
It's personal.
You know, it's very, very personal. Like my mum's dentist, for example, she decided she killed mummy.
Wow.
They had a good relationship, so she was like, "Oh my god, you know, if I didn't give Angie," I think she introduced my mum to some supplement. You know, my mum, you know what we're like, supplement people. So my mum took the supplement, and she decided she researched. She went, "Oh, it's got lead in it. I've killed your mother. I've killed your mother. You did not kill. Nobody killed her."
Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah,
You
I think
know?
we went through that whole
Yeah.
period of thinking we sped up her dying.
Death.
Maybe if we had taken her home and she'd been happier in the fresh air, maybe she, she'd have lived longer. It's just, yeah.
Can I just say, you didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
You did everything right. You did everything exactly as everything was supposed to be. So
Don't
yeah.
We're doing it to make you suck.
Don't do it. Burst into tears on the www.
Don't do that.
So in terms of,
There is nothing wrong with emotions, by the way.
I know. I'm full of emotions.
we will break her before the end. Mission. So I think maybe to an extent, Enk and Amaka, you guys maybe almost knew it was coming. Yeah, you didn't know when it was coming, but you knew that at some point, pretty soon.
Actually, not. Not
Okay,
really.
so
My
was it?
sister.
So would it?
You never think anyone's going to die, even if they're very ill. You still have that hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it was too soon because I actually thought she was going to come out of it. And then,
You did.
yeah.
So it
remember,
came
I
as
was
a shock.
It came as a shock.
Okay. So was it? It was a. I know it was
Even
a
though
shock
I
for
knew she
you.
was very
Amaka.
ill, and there was the possibility, obviously,
But you never really
but
think
not.
about
Yeah,
it that
you
way.
don't.
You
think
hope
of it
that
way,
something would.
Yeah, you just feel like she'll. Because it's
Yeah,
not the first time she's been resuscitated and in and out of hospital. So I thought, oh, it's just going to be one of
Yeah,
those.
it's because when we were in Paris, she had just had the stroke.
Exactly.
And she was trying to phone you.
Yeah,
and she was
exactly.
actually
Yeah.
okay-ish, not
Exactly.
Okay,
So,
but
and
yeah.
then all of a sudden, then she was gone.
Yeah. Were we on the same table?
On the
Yeah.
same table.
When
I remember you saying your brother-in-law was trying to get hold of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
know
Well, that was her son,
Well,
actually.
was this happened? Yeah.
Yeah, her son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was died.
Yeah.
But you thought she was just trying to chat with you, not realizing that
No, she did want to chat with
Yeah.
me. Yeah. And
So
she
it was
died
last
like a week
words.
after, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. She just wanted to chat with me, asking if I've opened the cafe.
Yeah, because she
It was
left
just
you
like
that message,
normal,
right?
yeah.
Not on your phone, but through your
Through
mom.
Avery or
Through
through
Avery.
through Avery herself.
About is the cafe open?
Yes,
Almost like
yes.
she wanted to know.
Yeah, she just
so
wanted
she
to
could be
just chat with me,
settled.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gosh. Okay.
You were going to ask Amaka a question about
Yeah, it was a
suddenness.
suddenness. Yes, Amaka, please. Like how? So Enk has described, so Enk's sister was ill, but obviously, when she's saying she still hung on to hope. So in that sense, it was quite sudden for her. For you, it was sudden, like from nowhere.
From nowhere.
Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, a little. I think what I really, learned was just the fact that nobody knows tomorrow. You don't know. Because if anything was supposed to kill my mother, it should have been her diabetes, because that's what she was known for. She was a hypochondriac diabetic.
When you say that, what do you mean?
She was, you know. Like my mum, it could be a little pinch and it's like, oh my God, I'm about to die. And this is a drama, So that's why it was really, really shocking. And, it was just from nowhere. You know the story. I said it so many times. I'm tired of it saying it.
Yeah.
But she'd been dancing the night before. It was Christmas Day. It was like me, her, and another friend. We were having a great time. My mother and I just alone were a party. That's why I didn't go out.
Or you take her with you?
I take her with me. Yeah. So we were just doing our thing. My friend was there. It was just fun. But everything happens for a reason. Like, I've said this so many times where I wasn't supposed to be hosting that Christmas because I was very, very tired. And the idea was, everyone would do what they want to do for Christmas. And then Boxing Day, everyone would come to mine with the grandchildren, la, la, la. So, I mean, we weren't meant to do anything. And then my friend comes in from, out of town, Love you, Willow. She's a lot of, she likes to, you have to take care of her. She made a fuss about the fact that nobody, obviously, she was in town. So I felt obliged basically to host. I didn't want to do it. I did everything reluctantly and very unhappy about it because I just thought, I don't want to do this. I'm really tired. But I went out the way you do. Like I just went splurge, like get this centerpiece for the table, everything, just three of us.
Yeah, you are hostess with the mostest.
I like to host. When I want to do it, I do it properly. But I find it really fascinating though that all of that happened because it was almost like now I look back, it's like I was saying goodbye to my mum in a very
roundabout
way without realizing that's what I was doing.
Yeah, because you said she danced particularly hard and she wanted to be recorded on that day. She's like,
she always wants to be recorded, but this one,
she always wants to be
recorded. But more than usual, it was very, it was very showy. We're very peacocky people in my family. We're very look at me. So it was a lot of that basically. But I think now I look back, to me anyway, I think I find comfort in the idea that was me saying goodbye to my mum.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of the actual emotion, I'll tell you guys something that I experienced as someone else's grief, not mine, but the part I played in it. And I just wanted to ask you if you guys have experienced anything like it, or as the griever.
Grievy.
Griever or grievy? Yeah. So in this case, I have a friend who lost her husband, and well, not suddenly per se, but your husband is your husband, right? So I went over to see her, and when I got there, she was sitting on the floor. I gave her a hug, and she pulled me down to sit with her. We sat on the floor together. So she held my hand, literally, and we sat on the floor. And people came in, and they hugged her. She never let go of my hand. So I sat there with her. So it must have been about maybe like 2 hours of me sitting with her. And then she would cry and then I'd reach out and hug her and people would come and more people and everyone, and I was just like, okay, So I enjoyed, wrong word. I threw myself into the role of comforting her. But I then got home and I had the worst fever ever. Like I had to take some fever tablets, and I went to bed
because it's draining.
It
was absorbed everything.
A lot. It was. I wonder if I helped her if I took some of it.
Probably.
Maybe
there's some schools of
how she felt.
I wasn't sure how to ask this question. I just kept sending her flowers.
You didn't tell her how you felt, like when you got home. You didn't tell her that.
I sent her flowers. Then I sent her more flowers, and then every year I send her flowers.
Again, when my mom passed, I did
have that thing.
Yeah, I felt sick, like I was going to.
Well, you were the grief.
Well, I didn't have anyone holding my hand.
Yeah.
So I didn't have anyone to pass my but
you felt the heaviness.
I had the sick.
It
made me feel sick, like literally shivering, had a fever.
Okay.
I had a pain in my heart. I think I told you about it. It was very weird for a few days.
Has it gone?
Of course it's gone now, but it was really, really bad. I went to the doctor.
My poor head. My project friend.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
You want this broken.
But can I just say, the doctor was much more sympathetic than you guys. He said, actually, your heart is broken, Miss Jackson.
No, it's true. Honestly, your heartbreak is very painful. You feel your heart's tiny little shatters.
It's one of the worst kind of pain you would ever go through. Because
it's like a security blanket, somebody yanked it off you.
Yes, and it is, I think life then becomes before that person and after that person. So everything is
like a different era, I swear to you.
Everything changes.
Everything changes.
It's very so again, this is where I'm at, where I'm thinking, it's really, I feel silly saying it, but it just feels like life doesn't, I'm very early in my stages, but life doesn't make any sense anymore for me. It's like, what is the point, right? And
why? What's going on?
Why? So my grieving, my mom died. I'm going to say something really awful. Was like, I couldn't wash myself for days. Like,
That's not bad.
no, it was bad. I couldn't.
What, did anyone call the police?
Nobody called the police down. Just telling you, it was a case of I could not. How could I say this one? And we're gonna edit that bit out.
No, we're
But
not.
basically-
No, I
You
asked
said you don't know.
I asked you to please help her future.
Sorry.
That bit
Edit
out.
this bit out. But
Please do.
it was the point. The point that I was
Please
trying to
do
make was
stop.
I did not hear about anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just did.
I think it's fine if people know she didn't have a shower for a
No,
couple
but
of
it's
days.
true.
That's
You're
fine.
right.
Yeah, days. At least a couple of. I said for days.
No, that's fine. Let's just leave
well.
days. We don't have to
It
put
could
an
be
exact
1
number
and
on
a half
it.
days.
Exactly.
It could be 25 hours. In some
Okay.
cases. But so it was a case of, I think I said this to you last week. I finally was able to articulate. Everything just feels like ash in your mouth. You're not,
And there's no
Nothing's got
point.
taste.
Nothing's
No
score.
flavour.
Mm.
And it's just very strange. And then, it's not.
I remember getting angry, like driving to work or driving somewhere. And I'll just look around me and just think, how dare you guys get on with your lives?
Ooh, that's a
My
good
mother has
one. Do you
died.
feel that as well? But
It's on
It's on-
It's like, how dare you guys get on with your lives?
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of people have become
Ins-
numb
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
Sally, I've been complaining.
Yes.
You know how
yes.
like
Yeah.
I
People
feel
are
like
not really
death exposes the hearts of many.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people you didn't know
Mm.
or you thought were like this.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Suddenly you're in shock.
Yes.
Well, they're not responding to you in the way
Yeah.
that you
So like
But that's
So
the
some
friends.
people didn't, you expected for them to reach out.
show up for you.
They didn't.
Yeah.
But
so maybe they didn't know how to deal with.
I think that's a really
No,
good
it's-
example.
It's
I
very well.
find
It's
that, like,
not it's
can't
not
make
easy
excuses
excuse
for
to-
it. Like, yeah.
I think that's a very poor excuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was one of the questions I had.
Mhm.
I find that when you go through grief, I found myself reassessing relationships.
Exactly.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Honestly,
Yeah, I know you did.
Mhm.
reassessing all forms of relationships, and there are people that I didn't want to tell that my mum passed away. The people that
You didn't want to tell them.
yeah, because it was a case of I don't know if people that don't celebrate you when something is
Mhm.
going well,
Mm.
that want to come and then revel in your
Exactly, your
sadness,
sadness
or
now.
want to, there's people like that. I had a funny experience actually. One of the days that you guys came to mind, there was a lady that I hadn't spoken to in years, and I think she found out that people were at my place. She's never been to my place before,
Mhm.
and there's like messaging me going, "Oh, I'm really sorry I heard about your mom, or I want to come over." Like, no, it's fine. I'm not having people over. But it turns out someone had put something on social media, so she knew people were at mine. And I'm thinking, well, you haven't spoken to me in years. We're not really in the sort of friendship that you show up at my house. Well, I found that really odd, and I sort of, in the end, ignored her. But then I've had friends that I've actually just not spoken to since.
Mm.
And then the people have surprised me, and in a good way and in a bad way as well.
Mhm. Of course.
So, you know what they say? Funerals and weddings bring out the best and worst in people.
Mhm.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Funerals and weddings. And
Do you have to reassess relationships?
Definitely a lot of relationships. After my initial anger, because initially everybody was in the wrong and they were all doing wrong. But you reassess relationships. You find out who's there, who cares, who truly cares.
Mm.
A girl I know who would always come to me for free legal advice. She runs her own practice as well. Every nanosecond she's on the phone. I believe I could be wrong, but I believe that when she was getting married, my mum was there for her and her husband, fix them up, all kinds of things. I asked her one little favour. We like to sing and dance and be merry in my family.
Mhm.
She sings in church. She's known to sing. So I asked her to come and do it. No response for a whole year.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
No response for a whole year. And then she had the audacity a year later to just call. And the first thing she said to me, I just thought, no, don't even do that. I think I would even pretend.
Mm.
She went, I have to say, the reason why I've not called you all this while is because I don't know how to react when people die.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness. Yeah, I don't like that one.
Yeah.
Who knows how to react when people die?
Yeah, again, poor excuse.
But who knows how to react when people die? I'm like, no,
Yeah.
that's just no. I'm not accepting that. So
Yeah.
you get.
So
you
you
get
use, yeah. No, not good. Not good at all.
No, I think you had one of those actually, Hank. Was someone, there's someone who you expected to hear from, who you didn't hear from, and
she
that was the
she's
reason.
been busy.
Oh, she's been too busy. She wanted to find a time.
And she wanted to find the right time and to call me.
These things get time barred. Time barred. It's 3 weeks is time barred, I
it's
think.
actually okay to say to someone, I don't know what to say.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to know what to say.
That's valid,
That's
actually.
enough.
Yeah. That's a big quote from this thing.
And nobody's too busy to reach out.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Of course.
Because I've had people busier than her. And I mean, that these are people that are interviewing Bill Gates and then on the board of Rockefeller. And,
How busy though?
and they call pick up their phone to call me.
Yeah, exactly.
But then this particular girl was too busy. So for me, it's like, it's just...
I think that one of the things I realised is nobody knows that feeling until it happens to you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so far for your inputs. I have 2 more things. So just something really interesting happened to me. So for the experiences that I've had with grief, when my grandma died, I had this very strong urge from nowhere to buy a cat.
Oh,
it didn't last. I didn't buy a cat.
Did your grandma like cats?
No.
Okay.
There was no, like, illogical.
I don't buy it.
We have to explore that. So that was it. And then in February, I know, Gizmo or Timmy for sale. And cats.
Buying cats.
No, she loves. Yeah, she has 2 cats. She loves her cats. Yeah.
One was actually flown in from Dubai for me.
An
Arabian Mao.
Let's talk about this because I'm thinking about
getting a cat.
You're a dog person. Since when?
I am a dog person, right?
We need to Google this actually.
Okay,
so we need to check.
Finish what you were
So that was the first thing.
Very intuitive.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So maybe it was
So are dogs though. So are dogs though. So
What's the difference?
I don't
I'm
know.
scared of dogs. Okay, so that was the first weird thing. There was a week in February where 2 of my very, very good friends died. Chuchu and Kelly. For 2 days apart, and literally I don't even know. I think I was in autopilot for a couple of weeks after that because that was very tough. And Enk knows Chuchu. So
also one of my besties.
Yes, one of Enk's best friends actually. It was a very, very difficult week, but one night, I don't know if it was like the week after, I woke up. I had my thumb in my wardrobe somehow. It got caught, and in the middle of the night it was swollen, and then I just had this feeling that I was going to die before dawn. I was going to die before. Yeah,
Go.
yeah, I did actually.
On my way to Ghana.
I was on our way to Ghana, and I was like, I spent the whole night rewriting my will, just to let you know. So, do you have a will? Do you have a will? If you don't have a will, you need to have it. It's very important that we all you have to have a will. You have to have all your affairs in order because the worst thing you can do is to die intestate. It's blah blah. And I just So I think I went absolutely bonkers for so that was my own. Reaction. That was my own reaction. So so what I've learned about myself is that I just come up with very, 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 very strange things when I'm hurting as a result of death. So please, can you guys relate? Has anyone had any? So you're saying you want to buy a cat, actually? So
no. So the cat thing is, I don't know. I had a weird dream about cats. I can't remember they ate my face or something.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know if it has anything to do with grief. I always have things eating my face.
Oh, wow.
No.
You need to say there's something going on.
The only weird thing was, for me, is the lack of care for self right now
Okay.
is the only thing that I'm dealing with.
So okay, so it's not too bizarre.
Not too bizarre. I don't have any other weird.
And you don't smell.
No, because I had a shower.
Power. What would you
I
do
made sure.
that
I
to
made sure
her?
I washed.
It's not very nice actually.
I haven't
have you
even
not?
put lipstick on today.
Oh,
She's very cute.
nice.
She's very cute.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any. Again, my mum's been dead barely 2 months, so I don't think I've reached weirdness level yet.
No, but mine was immediate. The cat thing was immediate. Like I woke up, I even put it on
You are
Instagram that I
weird.
think I want to buy a
You
cat.
are a bit of a quirky one.
Yeah,
darling.
Quirky, weirdo. Okay, all right. So no,
No, for
nothing.
sure. I don't think I want to talk about
The
bizarre
weird
things.
yeah, bizarre things. It's
Ah,
too
is
embarrassing.
this extra?
Do you see why you can't take this directly?
Sorry, is this a
Apologies.
Sorry, is this not?
No, our children will watch this. And our mothers. Yeah, my mom's behind the screen, by the way.
Okay.
Oops. Sorry, Mama.
You guys actually go to whisper on TV.
Well, that's not bad. Say it.
No, don't say.
That's what. Why? That's
Why?
why.
It's not like what?
You wanted to be a ballerina.
Is that? No.
Oh, she was dancing.
And you wanted to be
Freedom.
free.
Yeah.
Freedom, bondage. Yeah, because you were living in bondage and you decided to be free.
Bondage was like
Bondage on peace. Bondage on
No,
clothes.
really
Clothes were very
and I couldn't go to bed unless I did like a
Oh,
2-hour dance
Oh,
just on
wow.
my own, you know,
That's
with the
nice.
horses watching me. Those horses don't have any
Oh, yeah, she's
We just-
actually
The horses outside our house.
not
case you were
in,
wondering.
not
inside
inside
our house.
Yeah, like she
That'd be really
stables.
odd.
Stables.
Yeah.
Next-
I would always have to do it at a certain time as well, so it'd be between usually.
Mommy.
This is someone who said that nothing bizarre happened to her. This is right.
Do you see what I mean? Because now
Bizarre.
doesn't tell me why I didn't want to say anything, but
Guys.
personally, I'm a secret keeper.
Amaka has
the same person on this team.
That's not true. Amazing.
a brand new
Level
short
of
story.
awareness.
No, I'm going to write into a story.
Oh wow!
Yes, absolutely. So I'm
Everything
saying
is a story.
It is. It
No,
is.
I want
And
to
even
read
like
that
Silent Symphonies. I've been writing this script now. I have to find an actress who has a birthmark on her lip.
Oh,
Yes, that's it. Yeah. So yeah. We can't tell me because that would be weird. But yeah.
What?
But
Can I just say though, this is a conversation about
There are two questions.
much laughing. I already knew that you were giggling about the whole thing.
I did say it at the beginning. Amaka and Amaka are here. And when that happens, it's chaos.
No.
So
Yeah, because
for
That's not true. I'm the most.
Yeah.
So what was the other question?
Yeah. Unlike Enk is peaceful.
Yeah,
Enk is
Enk is-
demure.
Oh my
You're mindful.
mindful.
Yeah.
So demure.
I'm
So
mindful.
demure.
So demure. So
So
mindful.
mindful.
Okay, I have one last thing,
That's
and then
what you
we'll
think.
have to wrap this up. Yes, still recording. So, I think quick words of advice or thoughts, final thoughts on grief. Any conclusions you've reached, or anything you want to say. And let's, so you know what they say. Sometimes a podcast is therapy. Well, nobody ever said that, but yeah.
You make up your own.
Yes,
As
exactly.
you go along.
This is so. In case anyone needs therapy, let's go to our panel. Final words. So we can wrap this up and can kick us out of our cafe.
Go on.
Yeah, go on. Okay, we don't
Go with the flow, I think.
Yeah.
You can't, what's the word? Don't force it, just go with the flow.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Amaka J?
I think similar, like you have to give yourself grace. There's no right way to grief. There's no right way for people to die. There's no death that's better than another death. Death is death. So just give yourself grace and people around you grace, basically.
Okay.
From a practical point, I think take time off work. Serious.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious because I was worried about taking time off work, and then I was doing this whole working time off. Just didn't work. Just take some time off, and feel your feelings.
Feel your feelings.
Take time
I like
off,
that.
feel your feelings, and Yeah, I think, and I don't know. It's where I'm at is the whole people do grief differently, but take some time off and talk about it.
It's about taking
Yeah.
time off.
Yeah.
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 I remember leaving my AC on
Yes, for a week.
and then my friend Helena said, "That's why people go up grieving."
Yes.
You think you know
Oh
what
my
you're
God.
doing,
Yeah.
but you don't know.
Yeah.
You
Have
have
you
nerve
received
for
that
1
bill?
week.
Yeah, I
Can
think.
you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I still do stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I leave it for like a day on or 1 week.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think it's important to take time off.
Yeah.
I was trying the in between thing, and it
It doesn't work.
doesn't work.
I think I can relate to that one, and that's because I didn't take time off when Kelly and Chuchu died, and even my I did for when my grandma died, but that particular week I remember emotionally responding with anger to a work email at, wait for it, 4:30
worst
a.m.
thing ever.
Yeah,
I did that.
my
Oh
boss,
my God.
my boss booked a one-to-one with
Oh,
me.
of course. What do you mean?
And it was a reply to all as well. I couldn't single them out. No.
Oh no.
I replied to everybody
Oh my
and
God.
shared my feelings
Oh,
of
yeah.
dissatisfaction.
Oh wow.
That's something I had no business being dissatisfied about, by the way. So yeah,
I
take
was
time
very
off.
short with clients. Like my patience levels was 0. So that's
So
it was
yeah.
not good.
So take time out, especially in a 9 to 5, and if you want to save
Yeah.
money on
Yeah.
your energy bills.
If you're in 9 to 5, take time off work. Unless your job is not that important. But yeah, take time off because because you don't know when it creeps up on you.
Exactly.
And I just realized I've been so short with everybody, even with my family, but at least they're my family, they understand. With clients.
Fortunately, you haven't been short with me. You've been very nice to me, actually.
She's been very mean to me, actually.
But some people take the shortness, some people take the punches, and you're my punching bag.
Fair.
Excuse you.
But it's over.
And thank you. And you actually stayed the entire time.
Yeah.
This cafe is beautiful.
Yeah.
And actually, we're going to be ordering an edible coffee, please. I'll have one straight after this. I think I'll need that.
Yeah.
So, wrapping up, I'll just say I started with this and I'm going to end with this. Grief is the price you pay for love. I think maybe the harder you love, the harder you grieve. So it's almost fair. So if the love is worth it, right? So you take the pain because the love that you experienced when that person was here, you would do it over and over and over again. Like you wouldn't wish that they never existed. So just so you couldn't experience the grief. So the grief is, we have to do. So I wrote something a good couple of months ago and I was referring to all of this. And that was what I meant. So at the end of this thing, I wrote about this price you pay for love. And all of this is, I wish you love. But the problem with it is that it's going to really, really, really hurt. But now, when people are alive, is when we should actually show them as much love as possible, so that when we're grieving, we don't experience things. We'll still experience guilt and things like that, but so that we don't we don't fall short. So that it will never be a case of I didn't do enough. I always, you did enough. So on that note, thank you so much, guys, for joining us in this rather impromptu episode of Chronicles of Unshakable Truth. Today we have navigated grief. Something very heavy, but I hope we've done it justice. So we've brought some laughter. We've had some really sad moments, and anyone out there who's grieving, I hope you've taken some sort of comfort from all of this. And I'm really sorry for your loss. And guys, I love you guys. Really sorry.
Love you.
Yeah. So we'll finish here. Unshakable is a state of mind. Take your state of mind with you everywhere you go. Be unshakable. Be in truth with yourself. Love yourself. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.